In this lesson, you're going to look at how you can graph inequalities. So how do I graph inequalities? Well, let's first of all take a look at just something simple as x is equal to 5. We've been doing this for a long time. And I'm going to put a 5 right here. To represent x is equal to 5, what I would do is I would put a dot right on 5, representing x is equal to 5. Alright, so let's take a look at what if x is greater than or equal to 5. Well, when I graph that, I'm going to have my 5. And I'm going to include the 5 because it says that it's equal to, but x is everything that is greater than 5. It includes 5 and everything greater than 5. So our next one, x is less than or equal to 5. Well, again, it's going to be equal to 5. And I'm going to include everything that is less than 5 as well. Well, what if I have x is greater than 5? Well, that's a little bit different because it does not include 5. So I'm going to have my 5 on my number line. And I'm going to have an open circle, meaning that it is everything greater than 5, but because it does not include 5, I'm going to have an open circle. And it's going to be everything that is greater than, but it's not going to include 5. So how about x is less than 5? Well, again, we're going to have that open circle because I do not include 5. And I'm going to have everything that is less than 5, but that does not include 5, so I have to have the open circle. So how do I go ahead and write an inequality from a graph? Well, let's take the first one. So I've got 4, so I'm going to say x, and now it's going greater than, but I need to determine, is it going to be greater than or equal to, or is it just going to be greater than? Well, because I've got a closed circle, that means that it's going to be greater than or equal to 4. Our next one, on my graph, I've got x, and because I've got the open circle and it's going to the left, it's going to be less than, but I'm not going to have the equal sign because it's just less than -3. Alright, so let's do a couple of practice problems. I've got x is greater than or equal to 4. So I'm going to plot 4 on my number line. Greater than or equal to? Well, because I'm saying greater than or equal to, because it's equal to, I'm going to close it in and I'm going to go to the right. So it's everything that is greater than. For the next one, I've got x is less than 3. Well, I'm not going to have it circled because it's less than. It's not going to include 3, but it's going to be every number that is less than 3. So I'm going to go to the left. And my last one here, this is a confusing one sometimes. We need to take a look because when we're graphing this, it's not that I'm graphing the 5, I'm graphing actually that variable. So I need to read it in terms of the variable. And it's in terms of this x. The x here, if I were to read it backwards here, x is greater than 5 because it's got the bigger side that's going to the x, the greater than part. You could, if you wanted to, rewrite this as x is greater than. I can flip it around because the big side has to continue to face that x, and then I'll have 5. So I would have it going this way. Let's do one more like that. Let's do this one here. Let's have 2, and we're going to do greater than or equal to x. All right. So now again, it's not the 2 that I'm graphing. I'm graphing whatever the value of that x is. So I'm going to find the 2. Now, it's x is, so if I read it going this way, x is going to be less than or equal to 2. So I can read it backwards like that. Or I can rewrite it, but if I rewrite it, I need to make sure that my inequality sign is facing the same direction. So the little side is facing the x, or the variable, so I need it facing it when I rewrite this, and it's going to be 2. So I'm going to have less than or equal to 2. So in this lesson you took a look at how you can write inequalities from a graph, and you took a look at how you can graph inequalities.